Perfect. Well, welcome to our body language class. So I know, Alex, you were using your video. I don't know if it's going to work for Ken or Garrett, but today we're going to be talking about body language and things you should and shouldn't do, in the workplace in general, if you go to an interview, if you're meeting someone important, things to do and not to do. So let's first think of some ideas. For example, when you walk into a room, okay, first impressions are very important. So what kind of first impressions? If you were someone important, maybe the president of the company, and an employee came in to meet you, what do you think would be the things that you're looking for in a person? All right. So Garrett, do you want to maybe go first, or somebody else? That's fine. But talk to us about what would you look for in a good employee in a
Uh,
first impression?
well, I would like to say a pleasant smile with confidence, and obviously, walk should be confident also. And when he enters in my office, so he should be like he should be asking the permission, and then when I'll see to him, so I can estimate, or I can observe according to his body language what is he up to, or is he does he have any particular potential or not. So yeah, I am good at it a little bit, but obviously he should be confident and well dressed as
Okay.
well.
So what things do you
And
look
then,
for?
and when I'll take look for, like when I start to take his interview, then I'll get to know that what qualities has he gotten on the speaking. His speaking will tell me whether he is confident or not, or is he interested, or is he doing by forcing someone. And I'll talk to him, and I'll then check it out. How's things going? Is it going well or not?
Okay, so you're talking about, how fluid the conversation is, if the person is well dressed and they're confident. Okay, and if they're nervous, do you think that would affect mm, your first impression? I mean, everyone in any kind of situation like this, meeting a very important person, of course, would be nervous.
Yes.
What do you think
I'll
about
give
that?
him benefit of doubt. Everyone does this, first time especially. So I won't take it as much seriously, this thing. But when we this when I'll discuss with him something, and I'll try to understand what he is good at. And then I'll get to know, then is it okay or not, and his hand movement, and sitting style, and whether he is shaking his leg or not, or is he biting his nails like this. So those things makes person's impression bad, I think so.
So if someone, okay, and I will ask both Alex and Ken, but I'm just thinking, I know people that they just fidget is the word. They just can't sit still. They're always doing something, tapping a pen or moving. Um, so if they're shaking their leg, I'm challenging you here. Do you think it's actually negative if someone is shaking their
are you
leg?
are you asking to me or Ken?
Yeah. No, I'm still asking you. I'll get to the boys later.
Yeah, because my cousin does this, and I have I have been listening to this, that the person who does this, there is some problem in his mind, or whether he is disturbed, or he is not feeling well, and or he is not confident. This is why people do this, shake their legs, or tapping the table, or shaking their body unnecessarily. So those symptoms are the sign of the lack of confidence.
Interesting. And here I wouldn't personally think it was something that was too bad. I mean, obviously you don't want to be next to the person and be fidgeting, like this the entire time. I understand that, but shaking your leg to me personally wouldn't bother me. I'd like to ask,
Okay.
and this maybe is a culture thing too. I don't know. I'm just thinking, and so I'd like the boys' opinion. Alex or Ken, what do you think if, and just shaking your leg, not tapping, because yes, tapping, I do agree with you. I think that's not appropriate. But there are some people who are just anxious in general, and so in a way to release that anxiety, they would shake their leg or touch something. Interesting. All right, so Alex, let's go to you. If someone is shaking their leg during, let's say, an interview or meeting an important person for work, impression of that?
Okay, I'm here. Okay, I'm sorry. Could you
That's
repeat
okay.
the question, please?
For example, you
Slowly,
are an
slowly.
important person, all right, and someone comes in, and it's either a job interview or you're meeting them for the first time, and you see them shaking their leg. Is that negative to you, or what's your opinion about that?
I don't know if when I. You mean when I will to meet someone, some people for the
Mm-hmm.
first time?
Or if it were reversed, okay, for example, you are the important person or the boss, and the
Uh-huh.
employee is shaking their leg. Do you think of it as a negative thing?
No.
What do you think of it then, if it's not
No, I
negative?
don't know. I don't know how can explain, but I think check your hands. You mean?
Well, your hands, mainly your leg, because at least if there's a table in the room, and this is my image, the image in my head is, there's you, for example, a table or desk, and then the other person,
Right.
and they're shaking their leg. And so maybe you don't see it, maybe you notice it, but you don't say anything. Does it matter to you?
Right. Always I'm checking my legs when I am sit. But I don't know. It's
Okay.
just something nervous.
Okay, and that's fine. And so you wouldn't see this as a negative thing.
No, no, no. It's, I think this a nervous situation maybe.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Good.
Uh,
Thank you.
okay.
Any other comments? Okay, good. Ken, now it's your turn. What would you think?
Yeah, I think that person is nervous, especially in a job interview. Maybe that body language is not proper here, appropriate here. But I know that some people do that for their habit,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not only the foot legs, also pen, like a flipping pen or something like that. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the reason, maybe frustrated or something, or just a habit, or to get rid of their boredom or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, here it's not considered it's a good body language
Okay.
in general. Yeah, but some people are doing that actually, but not in the job interview, in the offshore interview.
Okay. All right. I know sometimes because my job is to sit down a lot. Sometimes it just happens that both my legs are moving because maybe I haven't gotten a lot of exercise that day and I need to get up, I need to move my, the blood around in my body. So I think it happens to me not intentionally, but
Mhm.
it happens because my body needs it.
Right.
So, like I said, from my opinion, I don't think shaking your leg is a bad thing as long as you're invested in the conversation, you're focused on the conversation and what the other person is saying. So, personally, I don't think it would bother me. I was wondering if it was a culture thing or something, which I'm still not really sure. I don't think it is. So,
Is it really a culture thing? Seriously.
I I personally don't think so. Do you think it's a cultural thing?
Why?
Well, I mean, we're from 4 different countries, so that's my only maybe. I mean, for example, oh, I don't know. For here in Spain, for example, people give 2 kisses. Now, is that normal in your country, Garrett? When you see
Well,
someone, if you give them 2 kisses?
we do, but we do with females as according to our culture. We cannot do with males.
Exactly.
And
That's what I was talking about.
yeah, I know, but the shaking legs is cannot be cultural, I think.
Right. No, I don't think it is either. I was just wondering, maybe it's just your personal opinion. And like Ken said too, it's not appropriate for that moment, which is perfectly fine.
Mhm.
I personally wouldn't mind. Maybe you do. That's okay. So no problem.
Yeah, it depends on us
Also,
as well.
sorry, a good effect of that, it might prevent from economy class syndrome.
Hmm?
Do you know that term? In economy class,
Um,
you need to sit down in a very long time still. You cannot move. Sometimes it causes a problem of blood circulation. So in office work, or study, we have to work very long time in the chair on the chair. So maybe that leg shaking might prevent such kind of syndrome,
Yeah,
blood circulation
yeah,
syndrome.
it
Yeah.
is possible, but I was just concerned while taking any interview or giving any interview at that kind of situation. It is very formal, it's supposed to be formal, so this thing make us disturbed, maybe.
and that's perfectly fine. I understand that in this certain situation it's not appropriate, but if it were to happen, I personally wouldn't do
Otherwise,
anything about it.
yeah, and I can shake my legs while listening to music. Obviously, sometime I can do this.
Exactly. Well, I'm the kind of teacher that says if you have a phone call and it's important, go answer it, you know. so so I'm pretty lenient and relaxed when it comes to people's
Right.
lives and things like that. So maybe it is a problem that they have. That's fine. I have problems too. So it's just
So
not physical.
my point is, it could be the reason of our body require that. If we sit on the chair a long time, maybe sometimes we need to body require the movement. So also it prevent from such kind of syndrome. But in a job interview, yeah, it's a very formal situation. Maybe such things might be considered as a kind of not good
Mhm.
body
Better be a
gesture.
little bit more careful, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Well, Ken is you were unmuted. Why don't you talk to us about your first impressions? Are they similar to Garrett's? Are they different? Would you think of something else? Let's say you're this important person and someone comes in. What are you looking for in an employee? What are the important things?
I, I'm an employee. I'm an employer for them.
Yes, you're the employer.
Okay.
They're the employee. What are you
Ah,
looking for when you hire someone, for example?
yeah, maybe first impression, also background of their career, also maybe such kind of thing. Also, how can I say communication skill, which yeah, or maybe I try to observe the person because sometimes how can I say if I have something bad or something good that might deflect to others. So I try to be neutral for that person and just observe the person. Or possibly not only me, some other persons, checking this also works. Not only the one person, but also several person interview for one employee or several employees because some people might have a different idea or feeling about them. So also it's helpful, I think.
Okay, good. Any comments there, Garrett or Alex? Alex, I'll ask you next about what you think are the best or the most important first impressions.
Well, I think um, be quiet, be security for yourself. I have I don't know when I meet something for the first time, I'm scratch my head always. I don't know why. Maybe it's for the nervous and check my legs. And that's all.
Okay, so that leads me to a good question. Do you think someone who touches their head or is twirling their hair, this twirling your hair is a bad thing. This means that you're maybe bored or something. But for example, if I touch my head, maybe it itches, maybe, or I don't know. Sometimes I go like this, and I feel that I'm not being too rude, because I'm not like this. But this, I don't know. So if you're touching your head, what do you think about that? I think it depends on where you're sitting personally. Because for me, I have a desk in front of me. If I have a table in front of me during an interview, I'm probably not likely to touch the table. So I would keep my distance a little bit because it's not a very personal, hey, hi, how are you? Very close. So interesting. What about touching your head? Garrett, Ken, what do we think about that? Any comments?
I think it doesn't matter if someone is touching his head, but what I believe in that too much of everything looks weird, If person, yes,
Okay, for example.
if any person is scratching his head too many times, or it, I'm just, I will just, I'll be confused also what the person has got problem, or whether he has some kind of difficulty, or he has to go to the doctor maybe, or maybe he's not able to do this job, he's doing too much. So like whether he's just scratching his head or shaking his leg or tapping the table or doing something else which looks weird, but too much of everything just makes a bizarre.
Okay. Well, that I do have to agree with. I think, if you touch your head once, okay, fine. Maybe if you touch it again, that's fine. But if you touch it here and then here and then here, maybe you have an insect problem as well. It could mean that. All right. It happens. It's never happened to me personally, but it does happen. So, so maybe there's that. Try not to yawn. Absolutely. That's probably one of the worst things you can do. There is an excuse, a lack of oxygen. Normally we yawn because we're either tired or our bodies need oxygen. It's not good to yawn. So I definitely agree with that. Now let's say, like I said before, sometimes someone sits like this, or someone sits like this, because I, move around a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not bored during class, I can tell you that. But I've also heard that when you tilt your head to the right, this is the right for me, and you look at someone and you're listening, that means that you're interested in what they're, or if, I suppose to the left, depending on where the person is and what dominant hand, etc. But if your head is tilted when you're looking at someone, that means that you're interested in what they're saying. So that's not a bad idea either. Other things. What about touching your face? Do we think that's appropriate? And maybe a little bit more than normal. Maybe it, like right here, itches right now. So I'll touch it. But for example, if I'm like this.
Maybe I think in job interview, showing pay attention to interviewee is important. So if we do such kind of gesture a lot, that means, oh, maybe this person, I might feel, oh, this person cannot concentrate on the interviewer. So I might feel. such kind of feeling. So sometimes if it is necessary, if the the insect on the face, maybe you can touch, but also you just sit down without moving like a robot is also strange. So try to be natural but formal. That's important.
Okay, so no extremes. We have to be in the middle here. Okay, so not
Yes.
frozen, but not, in your house
Right.
either. Okay, good. No, I definitely agree with that too. It's hard because, you want to be very formal. You want to sit up and, have a good posture. But it's unnatural as well. And so where do you, go from, kind of in your chair to super straight and very formal? What's kind of the halfway point here? You don't want to seem fake in one way and you don't want to seem too relaxed in another. So you have to find that balance. Okay? Any cultural differences here? Anything that you and your culture, for example, wouldn't do with an interview? I'm trying to think. That might be different for a different country. Any ideas?
As far as I know, I think everything is almost the same. Like to greet someone or to ask for the permission, and to be formal and calm, composed, organized. Should be aware of the all cons and pros. I don't think that there is any huge difference.
Okay.
It could be, but I don't know.
Well, I have an idea that just came into my head. Ken, I've heard, and I'm probably going to sound like I'm stereotyping, that when you're talking to anyone from Japan, Japanese people, that you nod a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. And also it's a matter of balance. In the classroom, in Japanese classroom, sometimes that happens. People not a lot, and the English teacher who taught in maybe South Korea, she said if that happened, she feel student is not concentrated in the class or content. So proper timing of nod is also important.
I agree.
Also, the way of greeting could be different. No, not shaking hand is not required. Instead of shaking hand, slight bow. In a job interview, maybe more deeper bow than usual bow. That's
Okay, and
so
so
that may be different.
good. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bow to anyone ever in my life. Even if I was English and from England to meeting the Queen, I suppose I would, but I'm not. So in my life, I would never actually bow to anyone. Talk to us about the bowing a little or bowing more, because what I
Yeah,
understand from what you're saying is that if the person is more important, you bow more.
exactly. Or the person is more formal situation. Yeah, like hierarchy maybe. It's not so democratic concept actually. We uh, deeper than you know to the boss or president or yes, yeah, that's kind of concept. But
So do you bow
usually
to your friends?
no, in the deep bow for friends is strange actually. We don't do bow for friends actually. Just bow to the uh, colleague in the workplace or acquaintances in the neighborhood, but not for the friend actually.
What about to the police?
No, because usually no, because they are yeah.
So when
So
would you bow to the police? If you're not sure.
because police is a stranger, we don't greet to strangers usually. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a one
cultural
difference.
difference.
In American street, everybody say hi to me in the
Mhm.
street or campus. So I felt wow, yeah. In Japanese campus on the street, nobody say hi to a stranger. It sometimes happens in the train, you know, in a long travel, but usually no greeting for strangers. In the
Interesting.
elevators too.
Yeah, in elevators, elevators. I think are awkward everywhere. Let's all get be put in a small, tiny room and not talk and yeah, I think elevators alone are awkward. And then if
Mhm,
you're with someone you want to talk to them, you have to whisper because you don't want to bother them or blah blah blah. But the saying hi to other people, not because I'm American, but here in Spain, um, for example, I'll walk into a shop or a restaurant or something with my husband, and he'll say hello to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. And some
mhm.
people will respond. People getting on the bus, I used to ride the bus quite often, not so much anymore. Someone would get on and say hello to everybody. Say hello. Hola, hello. you know, so that's something that's quite different. And that's here in the South where I live. In the North, that didn't happen. Um, but it's super strange to people that you don't know. So I will. That's a good difference between between our countries, between Spain and Japan.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Interesting, Garrett. Do you where did Pakistan lie on the whole greeting people you don't know or not greeting people?
We obviously greet people. It should be included in our manners, and greeting is a very beautiful thing, and I think everyone does this in every culture, maybe apart from bow. We do almost everything.
Okay. Because if you walk into a shop, you would say hello to everyone.
Oh, then go to shopping and to strangers? I don't
Hmm.
think so, because whenever we talk to a shopkeeper, so we can greet him or her. Otherwise, I don't think it. Does it happen to you, or is it necessary? I don't know, but I have never seen even in movies that if the person is going shopping mall and he's saying everybody or hello to everyone. I don't know. I've never came across it.
Well, for example, just when you enter or when you leave. And that happened to me in the United States too, is that, I'd go into a store and not that I want to say hi to everyone, but, when I leave, I'd want to maybe say thank you again or goodbye. And it was really strange. So interesting. I think it depends. And Alex, what about you? What do you think
Okay.
about greeting?
Well, I have different move because I'm like a musician. I'm making sound with my hands. For example, I'm talking with you, and I'm at the table. This sound is like I'm playing a drum, and some people say, "Hey, what's going on with that guy? Hey, be careful because you will broke the. Be careful because you will with the guitar because I am uh, if I'm making sound in my mind and I and I always play with my hands and some sound. Yeah, this is my I don't know. It's my
So you have the rhythm of music going all the time in your head and your bloodstream and your
yes.
hands. Okay, well that's
Something like this. Yes.
interesting. So that's another good question is making noise
Making noise.
is interview. What do we think of that?
I do
I
it in silence with my leg. I'm talking to you under the table, and if I sound making my leg, but
mm-hmm.
so quiet, so mute, because I don't know,
Okay.
it's my I don't know.
No, and that's fine. So instead of making the noise physically, you're moving your leg basically is what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's all.
Perfect. Good. Are there any opinions about that personally? To make noises like that in an interview workplace probably isn't the best thing. If you were Alex and you have this music always going in your body, what would you do?
I should be singing it every time, I think. Or yeah, or what we call murmur. Like, I'll do this. But if it comes to say hello or any greeting, so I will definitely won't do this because it doesn't make any sense. I'll be thinking in my mind if I'm thinking about any music or something is running in my mind or in my body. But I don't think so. I would like to show it in front of others.
Okay, good.
I would just try to be normal person.
Well, everyone's normal is a little bit different than someone else. So,
Right.
okay, good. And I think, is it the word hum that you mean, where you don't sing out loud, but kind of.
Mm-hmm. Right, humming, yes.
Okay, good. Perfect. So, what are big no's? Like, don't do this in an interview. I would say maybe raise your voice really loud and talk and like you're screaming to someone. Obviously not. What other things would you say absolutely no during an interview? Or if you were the boss and someone came in and did something, say, nope, you are not, I'm not going to hire you. What kind of things would what would those be?
If I don't find any person honest, and or if I find anything complicated in his documents.
And how do you know if someone's not honest?
Well, I will have any idea to see something suspicious. Then I'll get to know.
For example?
Otherwise, maybe he's telling me something that he has done something from the Oxford University or somewhere else, and when I look at his document and I find the different information, so that could be complicated, right?
Okay, sure. Yeah, things that don't match up exactly on their CV or resume. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
It's like he's telling me if someone tells me that he has done work somewhere else as well, and when he shows me the reference when I try to find or investigate something about his references and I got something wrong, that he has told me something wrong, then that will create something unfavorable towards him.
Very good. Oh, looks like Alex left. Hopefully that's on purpose because his internet connection, I think, wasn't super fantastic. Ken, what about you? What kind of things would be like, whoa, I'm not going to hire you because...
Yeah, one of the things is such kind of, kind of fraud, academic fraud or career fraud. So if it is suspicious, maybe I wouldn't hire that person. Also, I don't know what else. Maybe an inappropriate manner in an interview. Like you said, so some extreme action during an interview also is a very minus point. Yeah, maybe. So I think maybe interview is the place of where checking we check the person's common sense also. Yeah, maybe such kind of thing. Maybe if the person is out of that, maybe I'm reluctant to hire them.
Okay.
Probably. But
Good.
I'm not sure. Sometimes it's up to the interviewer what person I need. If I am in a creative field, maybe sometimes they don't follow such kind of common sense. Actually, if we keep the common sense, that means we cannot get out of the common sense. But sometimes, like Steve Jobs said, "Be stupid is important." But it's very difficult to find such kind of thing. in that short interview actually.
Okay, well, interesting. Let's see, other things. What about piercing and tattoos? Now, does this depend on the profession, or what do you think? At least during the interview, for example, obviously I have my lip pierced. If I had an interview, I'd always take it out. Now, living
Yeah,
in Spain, it's not such a huge deal. So, tattoos and piercings.
me or Garrett?
It
Are you asking me or?
You can talk, that's fine, and then we'll ask Garrett.
Okay. Yeah, I think still Japanese society is conservative about tattooing and piercing. Many people doing that, but in the interview, maybe they get rid of that or they just hide the tattoo on the body. Yeah, also especially maybe in a formal situation. That's a situation here. I'm a social kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, because it
Okay.
that's causing, how can I say, uh, tension. I mean conflict here. I heard in Tokyo's public pool and or public bus, people who tattooed have to hide the tattoo. So I heard an English teacher who working in Japan. She has a small little cute heart mark tattoo on her wrist. Because of that, she cannot enter the public bath and public pool. But she needs to hide can I say, seal the tape on it. She can. But it's I think it's maybe it's too much because small little cute tattoo on the wrist doesn't bad anything bad. So maybe society should change a bit about that because more foreign tourists coming to Japan nowadays. So or foreign
Okay.
residents too. Yeah.
No, and that's fine, and I agree. Like I said, as far as the piercing, of course, I'd take it out for to kind of show respect. And then at the end, I would bring it up and say, okay, I do have a lip piercing. Is it appropriate for work, or do I need to have it taken out? So I would ask, as far as tattoos, all of mine are hidden. Okay, so if I have to work, you can't see them basically. And I did that on purpose because in the United States, it's the same thing. People look at you, you're like, no tattoos, or I wanted to work on a cruise ship for many years, and you cannot have any visible tattoos. And I thought, oh, well, if I want to do that, then I have to be careful. So that was always a big consideration. Do I think it's fair? No. Do I understand? Yes. Because the tattoos in general have this bad connotation. Maybe it's to gangs or to bad groups of people or something like that. But if it's a nice little happy cute one, so,
Yeah.
or let's say it's for an
It's a fashion
important
now.
business,
Yeah.
however,
Right.
you're always going to be on the phone. Ugh, if you're not talking to customers face to face, doesn't really matter if you have a huge tattoo on your arm or something.
Right.
So those are the things. I think it depends on the job, what you're really doing. Um, and other comments, Ken, because I'd like to ask Garrett's about this one.
Oh no, thank you very much.
Okay, good. Perfect. So Garrett's, what do you think about piercings and tattoos and work?
Well, piercing is a little different, and it depends what you have pierced. Like, if you got a pierced nose, it's okay, and lip is also okay. But if you put off this thing before going to any informal or formal place, that's also good. But tattoo. I don't like tattoos. It's by choice, but it is also not as much popular in my country as in other culture. However, it depends on some certain fields which are about like media, entertainment, or musical field. If one has to apply for in music field or in entertainment field, so it goes well. But if the person has to become a newscaster or an anchor, so I don't think so it goes well. It wouldn't be in his favor. And I have never seen any anchor or a newscaster with tattoos. Have you?
No, but maybe they're covered up.
Or maybe,
No,
yeah, right.
that's part of the whole happy medium, because it's not just if you agree or disagree with tattoos, it's a little bit of everything, where you grew up, the generation. Okay, so if, my parents, for example, think one thing, I have a different opinion, someone else has a different opinion, someone else has the same opinion as someone else. So I think it depends, and also it depends on the person. Like you said, Garrett, it depends on the country as well. If it's not popular in your country, that's fine. Maybe it's what the tattoo is, not what it represents, but what it is, because it might be something and it might represent something super happy, but it might not look to everyone else. And what affects that? The color, as we've talked about in different classes for advertising purposes, and the color, maybe the shape, the form, actually what it is. So maybe it's a little cute devil person, which maybe is something happy for you, but a devil isn't good for anybody, so I don't think. I would say the majority of people. So I think it does depend, but very
Right.
good.
And depend on a tattoo size too.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, it doesn't change the person. It's just the image that you are giving to other people, and that's the first impression. Like we said, is everything. And so you do have to be quite careful with those things.
Right.
Good. Any other comments?
Yeah,
No.
now here, hair dye is very fashionable, maybe since 1980s or 90s. So at the beginning, society or company rejects that. You cannot dye the hair. But nowadays, almost all women or men, also men, dye their hair. Maybe if you are hired in a very kind of conservative big company, corporation, maybe orange color or shocking pink is not allowed, but many people dye their hair mildly nowadays. So maybe society's heightened feeling of kind of such kind of requirement is changing according to the fashion changes.
I hadn't thought about that. Well, go ahead, Garrett.
No, you go ahead.
The only thing I wanted to say is that I think you're right. I think it depends on the color, because I dye my hair. Not natural. So it depends on the color is the only thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, because
right. And those
go ahead.
and those kind of weird things like orange color of hair color and lots of tattoos on bodies, they go with like if someone is a fashion designer or a pop singer, those kind of things go well according to the field.
I agree. Ken, did you want to say your last comment?
Maybe we sometimes we are very difficult to hide the hair, because originally our hair is black, only black. So if people dyed hair, it's easily to visible. Oh, you dyed hair or something like that. Also, it's up to the field or you're working. If you are in a very creative field or a beautician, many people dye their hair very colorfully. So it's up to the field also.
Absolutely. Well, very good. Thanks, Garrett. I actually need to dye my hair very soon because my roots are showing. So I'm actually blonde.
Oh, really? How do you look like in blonde?
Well, I'll maybe send you a picture via email. So
yeah, I'm curious to see it. Seriously.
I look completely different, I think. So, but I've always liked darker hair.
Discolor
It's actually
soup.
technically brown, but it does look black. I'm looking at things next to the screen and it looks black, but it's just dark brown. So
Okay. And I would
just
definitely
because I
like to
like
see
it.
your blonde picture.
I'll send you one. I'll send you one. So,
Okay, great.
but you know, my comment was maybe about orange hair because there are people who have naturally orange colored hair. However, Ken kind of got me on that one with we all naturally have black hair. So I suppose you're right. In the United States, we have multicolors of hair and skin tones. So, and on your culture as well. So very good. Any final comments about what to do and not to do, interview in important situations, anything like that?
I think
Maybe
we had this.
go ahead, Garrett.
Ladies
No,
first.
no. I just wanted to say we have discussed enough about it. Then you go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, what's a proper grading in American interview at the beginning? Yeah,
Proper
knock
greeting
the
would be
door.
to shake hands.
Sorry.
And like the important person would give their hand to the employee.
Okay.
And they would just shake hands in a very firm handshake as well. You don't want one of these, blah, blah, you know, confident, be confident. So a handshake, and it doesn't matter, man, woman,
Also,
handshake.
do I need knock before?
Yeah, I think so.
It depends because maybe the secretary is leading you in to
Right.
the office, and then why would you knock?
Okay.
I see.
So I think it depends. However, yes, if you're going there alone, then I would knock and say, hello, can I come in?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, you're very welcome. And also, even to leave, normally you would give another handshake. Okay. Normally.
Okay, that's right.
To kind of close the whole thing. So, well, very good. Perfect. Well, good conversation today. Very interesting. I'll just check out here. My next class, Ken, you're going to want to be there, is the 26th, which is Sunday.
I think 29.
No, I have one on Sunday.
Okay.
And my time
Yeah,
switches.
changed.
My time changes.
Okay.
I go ahead to an hour. So double check the time. Ken, I don't know if it's going to be different for you or Garrett's, I don't know. But in Spain, we change an hour ahead.
Okay.
Okay. And that happens Saturday night, well, Sunday morning, technically. So there's one on Sunday, which is about pronunciation and conversation. We'll be looking at some words. And then on Wednesday, which is the 29th, Garrett's, is about anything you want to talk about in limited reason. So with me, at least, with Thomas, I think there's less.
Becky, I see your next class is on 29 on Intenga.
No,
me
Thomas
too,
must have.
Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Well, I'm going to have to email Thomas right now. So
And on same
I'm going.
Same time.
Well, for me, it's the same time. Like I said, Spain does the daylight savings, so we will change.
My time changed
So when
about 1 hour ahead here.
okay.
If you are gonna change, then please let us know.
Well, for me, it's going to be the same time.
And day?
But for you, it might change.
Maybe
We have
because Japan
daylight
doesn't
savings.
No, maybe that's the reason why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double check the calendar when it gets closer. Okay, just so you can kind of see. And if not, maybe it's an hour difference. But okay.
Okay. Thank
Wonderful.
you very much.
Well, I will see everyone then. Okay. So have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Bye bye. Thank
All
you.
right.
Take care. It was a